Well, well, well. The Dak Prescott contract is a hot topic, and Brandin Cooks just made it a little bit hotter. People always got something to say about Dak Prescott, and it's strange to me that it seems that very few people will come to his defense. Well, I'm happy to report Brandin Cooks has come to his defense. Let's talk, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, 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 Cowboy lovers and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. I've often wondered in this whole saga with Dak Prescott, the Dak Prescott contract. I've often wondered why more people don't come to the defense of Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott, to me, is one of the nicest guys, it seems, that you would ever want to meet in the NFL. A lot of players sing his praises. I mean, even the ownership. I mean, Jerry talks about how great of a leader he is. And so many different people talk about him in a good way. But there's a lot of people that talk a whole lot of nonsense about Dak Prescott. And I have no problem with people actually saying things about Dak Prescott, like, maybe he made some mistakes in some of the playoff games where he didn't win them. But I'm going to go back and do a video on that, because I think if people are really being objective, they would see that Dak Prescott is not the sole reason why the Cowboys lost some of those playoff games. But I've often wondered why people don't come to his defense. Because I'm thinking about if I was in the NFL, even if I was a quarterback on another team, I would be like C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud put Dak Prescott in his top 5. I think Tyreek Hill put Dak Prescott in his top 5. And whenever there are a few, when they're asked about Dak Prescott, they speak highly. But if I was an NFL player and the way they talk about Dak Prescott, I'm serious. I would seriously be speaking up. I would be speaking up as a player. I would be speaking up as a fellow quarterback. I would really be speaking up, because a lot of people do not understand just how good Dak Prescott is. And they think it's easy to go and win playoff games. I mean, we keep talking about Dak Prescott is 2-5. Well, Lamar Jackson is 2-4. And he missed one playoff round because he was unhealthy. So how much better? And I'm not asking this as in, we start talking about his athletic ability, but I'm talking about his quarterback. As athletically gifted as Lamar Jackson is, well, as people say he's better than Dak Prescott, well, if he's gotten there, how many times? I mean, he's 2-4. Well, shouldn't he be like Pat Mahomes? Shouldn't he be like 5-1, or at least 4-2, or at least already in a bowl game? It's not a criticism on Lamar Jackson. It's hard. It's hard. And it's crazy how people criticize Dak Prescott, and they're very subjective when it comes to him, but all of a sudden, when it comes to everyone else, they get objective. I mean, really, what does Josh Allen want? He's 5-5. And if you look at the teams that he's beaten in the playoffs, they've been very weak. And the teams that he's lost to, a big part of that is because of him throwing interceptions. I mean, objectivity goes out the window when it comes to Dak Prescott. But also, when I think about people coming to the defense of Dak Prescott, I would expect the owner to do it. And Jerry and Steven have failed to do that on so many occasions. But especially the players, I would expect them to really be coming to the defense of Dak Prescott. Now, we saw with CeeDee Lamb, he's already said that he wants Dak Prescott to be his quarterback. And I'm sure that CeeDee Lamb didn't sign that contract without the understanding that Dak Prescott was going to be the quarterback. But I just think there are more people that should really be coming to the defense of Dak Prescott. And the type of player he is, I believe that there are some of those players that they want to win a ring just because Dak Prescott is such a great guy. And one guy that I already respected is Brandin Cooks. Brandin Cooks has been a very good wide receiver in the league. I talked about it before. I thought he was a little bit bigger than what he is, but now I understand why he's had some of the success. He's a speedster, and he's played with some of the greats. I think he's been to a Super Bowl or two. And so Brandin Cooks is an all-around great guy. And Clarence Hill did an interview of some sort with Brandin Cooks. And I love what Brandin Cooks had to say about Dak Prescott. Let's look at it. Clarence Hill says on X, I asked Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Brandin Cooks about the criticism Dak Prescott receives, and he went off. Quote, Brandin Cooks says, it's blasphemy. It's unbelievable. The guy shows up every year in and year out, putting up numbers, leading his team. He can't do it all by himself. A lot of those great quarterbacks that I've been with, Tom Brady and Drew Brees, don't get me wrong, they won a lot of games, won a lot of Super Bowls, but they had a lot of help around them as well, right? Us players around Dak also got to step up. So when we hear that disrespect, I take that personally. And as his teammates, we should take that personally, because at the end of the day, somebody has got to be able to help him get over that hump so we can go win one. Way to go, Brandin Cooks. Somebody needed to say it. Does anybody not understand that great quarterbacks typically have great players around them? Tom Brady's first 3 Super Bowls, those were defensive won Super Bowls. The last 7 Super Bowls, when you look at the last 3 with the New England Patriots, Tom Brady had significant help and people making fantastic plays. I mean, a lot of people talk about when Tom Brady came back against the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm thinking that Tom Brady was 21 points down against the Atlanta Falcons. Does anybody not understand that Tom Brady doesn't come back from 21 points down to the Atlanta Falcons unless his defense makes plays? Let that sink in. Unless his defense steps up and make plays, he doesn't get to come back from a 21-point deficit. Does anybody not understand that these quarterbacks, they need players to step up, like Brandin Cooks is saying? They need players that can truly step up and make big plays in big moments. And while no one will remember those plays per se until they start digging into the film, these quarterbacks become great because they are players, because there are players who really made great plays. I mean, people don't want to talk about it, but Pacheco was insanely good in the Super Bowl last year. Their defense was lights out in that Super Bowl for the most part last year. Amazing catch by the wide receiver at the end of that game. I mean, so many things happen. And so we have to understand, even in the Dallas Cowboy heydays, Troy Aikman wasn't the reason why they were winning. He was a part of the reason why. But the reason why they were winning those games was because they had an offensive line and the arguably best running back in NFL history. The 90s Cowboys were loaded with players. And these people who run around talking about that the Joneses have put players around Dak Prescott, they're disingenuous. Dak Prescott nor Tony Romo ever had the players around them that Troy Aikman had around him. And I'm going to just say Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman had a wealth of weapons around him. I mean, come on, man. He had Charles Haley and Deion Sanders. They went and picked them up in free agency. On top of him, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith. On top of a star-studded offensive line. Arguably, every last one of them will probably make the Hall of Fame. Dak Prescott nor Tony Romo has ever had that amount of great players. We're not even talking about on defense, guys like Darren Woodson. I mean, great players around them. And so Jerry, he's a part of this. He's the reason why Dak Prescott gets a lot of this criticism, because he's already saying it now. When he signs Dak Prescott, again, Dak is going to have to do more with less. He's going to have to do more with less, because Jerry is saying there won't be money to go around and get other players, which I find to be strange that the Philadelphia Eagles can keep figuring out ways how to do it. But I'm just saying, Brandin Cooks, bravo, my brother. Bravo to you. More people should be standing up for Dak Prescott and not letting these people like Stephen A. Smith run his mouth, saying things subjectively when it comes to Dak Prescott, or Dan Orlowski saying things subjectively when it comes to Dak Prescott, but then when it comes to Lamar Jackson, when it comes to Josh Allen, he's got an excuse for Josh Allen being 5-5 and being the reason why they're losing games. Got a reason for Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, unanimous one of them. He's 2-4. He's 2-4. He can't get over the hump. And a big part of them losing, well, he threw the interception last year. It was him threw that interception. He's not the only reason, but he threw an interception that ended the game pretty much. So we got to stop acting like these quarterbacks do it by themselves. Jerry, sign Dak Prescott. Get him more help. I'm not talking about a lot. At least get him a running game. See what this running back by committee looks like? And if it don't look right by the second game, man, you go out there and get Dak Prescott a running game and stop playing. And get a return on your investment. But that's going to do it for me. That's going to be my time. I'm the G. This is Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Go Cowboys.